This episode is part of a series entitled A Shero's Journey. Every good story has a hero, or a Shero in this case, and every hero and Shero faces a similar set of challenges. Every few weeks, I'm going to introduce you to an incredible woman, a real woman, just like yourself, who has overcome real challenges to create a wonderful, fulfilling life. My hope for this series is to not only empower you, but to encourage you to trust in yourself and to know that no matter what you face, you can come through it happier and bolder and brighter than you ever thought possible because you are stronger and more capable than you realize. So pop in those earbuds, my friend, and let's go. Welcome, everyone. I've got with me today the marvelous Honor Marks. Honor is the creator of the Magic Life MEtreats, and that is MEtreats and not retreats, as well as the Magical Midlife membership. If I had to describe Honor in 3 words, those words would be determination, perseverance, and people connector. And that's hyphenated, so it counts as 1 word. I met Honor through social media, and I've been following her on Instagram for about 4 years now. And I knew even before I launched my podcast, I wanted to have her on. Honor is 60. She's a single mom. She's divorced and living in the south of France. She left the corporate world after 18 years as an IT recruiter. Then she embarked on several different journeys as an entrepreneur before leaving the UK with her now ex-husband and 4-year-old daughter. Once in France, Honor and her now ex-husband bought this crumbling down old farmhouse, and they turned it into a lovely home and 3 gîtes. And for those of us who don't speak French, gîtes are cottages, or what we would call cottages. For the past 10 years, Honor has been hosting families and couples and groups of friends and helping them discover the amazing but relatively unknown region of Occitanie. Hope I said that right. If not, Honor will correct me in a second. That in and of itself is impressive, but Honor did not stop there. However, I'm going to stop here and bring Honor on. So how you doing, Honor? Welcome.
Hello, and thank you very, very much for having me. And I do apologize for my creaky chair. It's creaking.
No worries. I have a cat. He'll probably jump up here in a minute and get in our face anyway.
Yeah.
So, Honor, I brought the listeners to the point where you left London with your now ex-husband and your 4-year-old daughter. You renovated the farmhouse and you created the gîtes. Your marriage ended, you continue with the business, and then COVID hit. However, I want to back up a bit. I want you to fill in the gaps because you had some challenges even before COVID hit. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, lots of challenges, really. I mean, where do you want me to start? At the beginning, I didn't even want to come to France. You know, actually, I'd set up another kind of business. It was a decluttering business. I called it Life Laundress London. And I was loving living in London. And my now ex-husband, he wanted to move abroad. And actually, he wanted to move anywhere but France, as it happens. But a long story short, we chose France because I spoke a bit of the schoolgirl French. And also, actually, the south of France, it's very lovely and gorgeous and hot and sunny here. But in the big scheme of things, it's not so far away from the UK like other countries, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Greece are. So if I had to, I could get in a car and be home with she's now unfortunately not here anymore, but my mom, my widowed mom, within a day. So it was important for me. So that was the compromise. But I didn't want to come, but I came. And here I am. Here I am still. Yeah. And well, the story continues with that. I came, if I'm honest, probably because I was trying to save my marriage, which took me years to recognize that. But we see things with hindsight so well, don't we?
Oh my gosh, yes. Crystal clear.
Yeah, anyway.
All right. So you left London, which was your home, which was familiar, to save your marriage. Okay. So you get to France, go from the point where you redid the house and created the gîtes, because I imagine that alone was a challenge in a marriage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I sold the house that I had bought, which I loved, this beautiful terraced house in southwest London. And we moved here lock, stock and barrel. And we rented for a little while and made it our full-time jobs to house hunt, which was in itself, quite a thing, because I don't think it's changed much now. But certainly in those days, the estate agents would show you anything. I mean, anything. Even though we had a wish list, Even though we were cash buyers, they'd still show you exactly what they want to sell you. So it was a bit challenging. But within the space of 4 months, we did find, having broadened our search, we did find this beautiful farmhouse which had 3 huge barns on it. And it kind of ticked quite a lot of the boxes that we were looking for. It was a little village, it had a restaurant, and it had a little primary school, which is very important to me. Also, in a very good location, it's like an epicenter, because all around it, there are motorways and airports, the Mediterranean beaches, the Pyrenean Mountains, Cathar castles, medieval cities, and Roman towns. So from a business perspective, it really was a good idea. And also from an accessibility point, for me and anyone getting to us, it was brilliant. So it was a good thing, but it wasn't easy. People always think moving abroad, oh, you live in the south of France, how wonderful, you're living the dream. Trust me, there is the same amount of dog shit on this side of the fence as you get on yours, okay? There really is. Add that bureaucracy, oh my goodness, bureaucracy, language, cultural differences. It's not easy. The difference being is the sun shines a lot more, and that's nice. And the wine's quite a bit cheaper here as well.
All reasons to love it, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. Okay. So you got the house redone. It's lovely. You've got the gîte. You got your business going. The marriage ends, correct?
Yeah, it does. It does. And I think I always knew, of course, that I knew deep down that we weren't really compatible. But because I had given up, sold my home, moved away from my mum, my friends, my fledgling business, for me, failure was not an option. Call me old-fashioned. I got married. I'd made some vows. We had a little girl. I put all my money into this big property here. It wasn't an option for me. And in those days, we didn't have social media like we do now, because this was 18 years ago. We didn't have Facebook. It was just at the beginning. We didn't have an Instagram. So I wasn't being inspired by other braver, stronger women that were doing it. So at the time, I felt very lonely, very isolated, and really felt that I had no option but to make this marriage work, even though I was desperately unhappy, if I'm honest, really unhappy. And my mum, within a year, she'd had a stroke. She got vascular dementia. My dad had died years ago of Alzheimer's anyway. And it was very tricky. It was very, very tricky all the time, if I'm honest. So I put on a big smile. I greet my guests. I met some amazing people. Trust me, I continue to find those pockets of joy all the time, but it wasn't an easy time.
Yeah, I can imagine. Okay, so the marriage ends. You decided to dig deep. I think you told me you decided to dig deep and stay where you were and try to make the business work. And then what happened?
Well, I mean, the marriage ended also horrifically because we went away for my 50th birthday and we went to Vietnam, which was kind of like a bucket list holiday. And that's where he said it was ended. And when we got back, I found out actually there was somebody else.
Oh.
But it's a knee-jerk reaction to I need to go back to the UK where I've got my brothers, my old friends, I speak the language, but I couldn't. You can't just go back like that. You can't just go back. Things have changed, things have moved on, prices have gone up. But my daughter, now 12, was established in school, and I had gîte bookings. I couldn't let the people coming on holiday. And you should never make a big decision there. You should never do a knee-jerk reaction decision. So you have to try and sort of, clench the teeth and just get through it, which I think women are very good at doing. We are able to just pull up our big girl pants and get on with it.
Yep. I say that too. Put your big girl panties on and deal with it. Yeah. All right. So what came next? Was it COVID or was it the man of your dreams?
It was actually the man of my dreams. In fact, he was the man I was compatible with.
Okay.
And I met him online dating. We had 6.5 years. It was really lovely. And then once again, plot twists, curveballs, you name it, rug pulled away from under my feet. He ended it. But this time, I hadn't seen it coming that, we were compatible. We didn't argue. There was no gaslighting in our relationship. This was a really good relationship. And I'll always thank him for that, because now I know what a good relationship looks like. But it was absolutely out of the blue. It was whatever was going on in his head, but it broke my heart. And I knew then that I had to surround myself with people to keep me sane. And if I can backpedal a little bit,
Yeah, of course.
during COVID, which is, I think, everyone had a plot twist during COVID, didn't they?
Hmm.
My business, my Jeep business, was obviously going down the pan at the time because, of course, we couldn't travel. So I had a business coach at the time, and I said to her, I don't know what to do. I need to earn a bit of money. I need to keep busy. My daughter's doing her baccalaureate. I got to be the role model. And she said, Honor, we love what you do on Instagram. Why don't you teach Instagram? And I set up this course. This course called How to Not Suck at Instagram. But on reflection, we quickly realized that's probably not very classy. So it was how to have fun with Instagram. And I met all these amazing women, solopreneurs actually, mostly a few men, but mostly women, trying to survive during COVID, running their businesses online, but still all new to Instagram and very lacking confidence. So I showed them how to not take themselves too seriously and have fun with it. And because of that, I also built up this lovely kind of group of women. And then we all got together for a reunion at my gîtes when COVID had allowed us to travel. That was the birth of the Midtreats, my magical midlife retreats. So that was the inspiration behind that, if you like. So thank you, COVID, for that. And the boyfriend, love of my life, breaking up. Thank you very much for that in a way, because I created the Magical Midlife membership. And they are separate, but they also are very compatible, because the one thing they have in common is that we're all in midlife, whatever age that is. My youngest member is 45, my eldest is 81.
I love it.
So, there we all are. So that's kind of what happened at that stage.
Okay. So you created the Me Treats and the membership after the love of your life.
Yeah.
He just walked away, if I'm understood you correctly. Okay. So what happened after he left? Well, you created the Me Treats,
So I started upping those Me Treats because and my daughter was going off to university, so I was a bit more independent of her. We are very close, but she went away, so I had more time, particularly when my Jeep season was over in the winter, when I always shut it down in the winter. So I was able to create more Me Treats.
Okay.
And the membership as well. I'm telling you, it saved me. And I kind of feel that because it gave me a focus. It gave me a distraction, but a really amazing distraction. And I thought, well, I know I need it, but I bet there's loads of other women that will need it too. And what I love about it is I would say 50% of the women in my group are happily married. There are widows, there are divorces, there are unhappily married, I'm sure. There are single and happily so, and there are single that want to meet somebody. But one thing we all have in common is, when you reach a certain age, that midlife age, we share lots of things. We've walked in each other's shoes at different stages, whether it be the empty nest era, the aging parents, sandwiches, your kids going off to school, parents are aging, all of that kind of thing, menopause, losing our minds, and trying to hold down jobs and remember to pick up the dog from the dry cleaners and pay the vet for the clean shirts. You know what I mean, right?
I know exactly what
so
you mean.
We do all that. And we have, whether you're married or not, we share an awful lot of things. But one thing, I say this all the time, I quote one of my lovely members who's will have been on 3 of my Me Treats as well, actually. But she's been happily married for 44 years. And I said to her, why? Why did you join the membership? And she said, well, Honor, I'm probably going to outlive my husband. So I want to make sure I've got a really good network of women around me. I thought, I love that. She's future-proofing her life. And sorry, men, but, that is the case. But, statistically, we know that. So why not have a huge bunch of wonderful people, an army, a tribe around you?
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit more about your membership, because you guys do a lot in there. Tell us about it.
I mean, whilst it is online, and I do encourage in real life meetups. So I love the fact that somebody from one side of the country will set up a lunch, but people will come and travel, stay the night, make a weekend of it. Because sometimes you need to get out of your own area, your own ruts, and no disrespect to your friends, but you need to meet other people to understand and develop yourself and learn new different perspectives. So it's really important to meet new people. But we have regular coffee mornings. I encourage anyone who wants to host a Zoom of an evening, because they think, oh, I'm not doing anything tomorrow night. It'd be good to have a glass of wine with others. And also, I don't know, maybe the husband's watching the rugby or something and they want to just go and chat with some girlfriends. It doesn't matter. And we also have guest experts twice a month. And they are really, really interesting. And actually, last night we had one, and my guest expert had to postpone. So one of the members stepped in, and I gave her the hot seats, if you like, to be able to introduce herself and do and explain what she does. And she's a hypnotherapist, NLP practitioner, silent counselor. And she gave us a kind of a meditative session, which was really good. The subjects that I have covered cover everything from money to retirement to death to nutrition, from sex. Next week, or in 2 weeks' time, we have a woman coming to talk about sex, not just sex toys, but sex health. Really important stuff that we women need to and should, every subject, there is nothing off limits. We've covered everything, and I will continue to cover that and repeat, because every new person comes along and has a different angle on it. And there's new research out there. So it can be holistic. It could be about vibration frequencies. It can be about ADHD, domestic violence. So we have, it's important. And I encourage people to come or listen to recordings. For example, with the domestic violence, I said, God willing, you haven't been touched by that. But as 1 in 3 statistically of people, and I say people because it could affect both sexes, are touched by that. You may know somebody. You might be able to glean some information that will help somebody. There was a divorce lawyer the other day, a divorce lawyer with a conscience. Have you ever heard of that? Somebody that would prefer that you spend your money on holidays in Mauritius than paying for her to go to Mauritius. And she's got a membership where people can get templates of what they need to do in order to get divorced without spending hundreds and tens of thousands on lawyers. And I said, again, you may not need it yet, but you also might know somebody who does. So you can be a better friend by having all this knowledge. So I think it's very good value for money, if I say so myself.
You can say so yourself. Absolutely. So you also have not a book club, but a book recommendation list, correct?
Yeah, it's not a book club. I have different spaces where you can have little areas, and it's book recommendations, recipe recommendations, because you know how you get into a rut. What am I going to cook tonight? Honestly, when you write down all the things you do know a lot, but we do stick to a little bit of a rut. So it's quite nice to be inspired by other people and keeping it real. Podcast recommendations, I'll be recommending yours, of course.
Thank you so much.
You can recommend it yourself because, of course, you're a lovely member yourself.
Thank you.
And we have a gardening section, which I don't participate in because I'm absolutely rubbish at gardening. But, people can share their wins, their watermelons, as you showed me the other day.
My baseball size watermelon.
Did it taste nice?
I haven't cut it yet. It's not even the smallest one out there. That's what's so funny.
Yeah,
so I've proven I can grow them, Honor. Now I have to work on scale, right?
Yeah. Size matters, eh?
Amen, sister. Size does matter. All right. So tell us more about these MEtreats. Where have you been and where are you going?
So I started them off at my place here in France because I have these lovely gîtes. Gîtes actually really means self-catering holiday places. So they could be cottage. I've got 2 apartments and a cottage. So it was very natural for me to host them here because I also know all the local context. We've had macaron cookery classes. We do cookery, food and wine tasting, walking in the vines, going to a French village, French market. I also have massages in my secret garden under the olive tree, and we visit wonderful places like the medieval city of Carcassonne, or we might go to the beaches and go and see the pink sea, as I call it. I won't give you too much information. I want people to come and find out.
Well,
but I also wanted to expand my business from a completely for 2 different reasons. One, because people want to come back, but they want to keep coming back to the same place. So I wanted to give them something new. I want to see more of the world. And also I needed to build a business that was away from the gîtes because of which I can't go into too much detail here, but my ex-husband and I, whilst divorced, we are fighting a financial battle. So I wanted to build a business away from the gîtes. So we've now been to Marrakesh and we're going again in November. We've been to Seville. We're going again next March. Wales, in January, and people think we're mad, but trust me, it's gorgeous. And next year, we're going again, and they've got miniature donkeys. I
Oh,
cannot wait. If that's not a sales spot pitch, I do not know. And then Tuscany, I'm doing that in October. And we will probably repeat and do different ones. For example, we're going back to Marrakesh in February, but doing a smartphone photography course.
oh, nice.
Lovely because people come. I have a lot of people that have done quite a few of them, which is why I've got to keep inventing new ones. And I'm very happy to do so. But everyone is different. You'll learn a skill maybe, or you'll have an adventure, whether it's a hot air balloon ride, or learn how to cook, or learn more about wine, or go and see the most amazing cathedral, which is inside but would you believe, like a mosque in Seville, or whatever, amazing adventures. But the magic, the real magic, is us women simply stepping out from our daily routines, our ruts, away from our usual lives, our partners, our families, our work, and having some me time. Because I say this time and time again, as women, we spend all our lives being responsible for everybody else's actions, lives, their meals on the table, all of the things that we are responsible for. Who is responsible for us? We don't take time for us. We put ourselves last. And in order to be good for the others, you have to put your oxygen mask on yourself, right?
Yes.
So do that. You deserve the break. I mean, a lot of people feel guilty. No, never feel guilty. Consider it an investment in yourself. And the amazing thing is, and again, it's a bit of a cliche, but people arrive as strangers, but I swear to God on my life, they leave as friends. And
Amen. I believe it.
I do believe that as women, when we come together, the magic happens. And I do also believe that together we are quite simply stronger. We really are.
I believe that too. So I want to back up just a second about the Jeets. If someone comes to visit you there, do you pick them up from the airport, from the train? Tell us how that works a little.
If it's a self-catering holiday, it's completely different, right? They usually I recommend car hire for a normal holiday
Okay.
because it's a beautiful base for exploring. So that's a no-brainer. But if you're coming on one of my retreats, you just get the flight here and I'll help you get to my, say, nearest train station, and then I will pick you up from the train station.
Okay.
So it depends where you fly into, but it's really easy to get on a little navette and get a train to me. But what I do before that is I create an email where everybody gets to know each other, they introduce each other, and then a few days before that, I set up a WhatsApp group so people could start, sharing. What the hell are you wearing? What are you going to pack? Should we meet up at, the coffee bar at the airport for coffee first? So people are getting to know each other before they get here. So they're not quite strangers. They've already kind of shared a few things and sometimes shared their concerns and their fears. But, there's a camaraderie. There's that Dunkirk spirit. We're all in this together. We are there for you. And there's that, it's wonderful. So there's a warmth before they've even got here. And the one thing they all have in common is they know me because they've seen me usually on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. So
Yeah. Okay. You make it very easy. How close are you to the beach? Because that would be a common question for anybody
yes,
that I know that would want to come visit you.
yeah, 35-minute drive.
35 minutes. And you provide the transportation.
Yeah, but if we do a beach visit, it depends because everyone really likes to go to Carcassonne. It's a UNESCO heritage site, so it's very famous. It's very beautiful. But if it's a lovely hot day, maybe we just want to go and lie on the beach, I will organise the transport for that. You don't have to worry about that. Once you get here, I'm looking after you, and I will make sure you get back safely. No one ever needs to feel fearful of anything. I will help them. If metaphorically, I will take their hands and help them wherever I can.
Okay. All right. I love it. Okay. So if I may, I'd like to dig just a little deeper here and ask you some questions.
Of course. Go ahead.
Okay. So you already described to us what precipitated the move from London to the south of France, and that was to save your marriage, right? If you could go back to that time just for a moment, when you realized you needed to go do this, or you told yourself you did you hesitate, Honor, or did you just say, okay, I need to do this, now let's go do it?
No, I did hesitate because I didn't want to do it. I had this beautiful house, and my mum was, down an hour and a half drive away from me, but there she was. I didn't want to do it, and I also I didn't realize, I didn't articulate that I was doing it to save my marriage. I see that with hindsight, but there was something deep down. So, after a while, I did succumb to the idea of doing it, but it was reluctantly, if I'm honest, with my heart literally in my mouth, if that's the expression.
Yeah.
And I can't even remember now, it was 18 years ago, but was I completely honest with everybody why I was doing this? I think to my mum, I put on a brave face because I didn't want her to be worried for me.
Hmm.
So I just did it. I just did it. You just do it when you're a unit and you've made vows. And I'm not even religious, for Christ's sake. I just didn't. We'd made this commitment, and so okay, let's have an adventure. Let's try to look at the positive, and because you can live your entire life in one place and never do or see anything. So we moved, we shook it all up, and we did something different.
Yeah, you did. That's honorable right there. No pun intended with your name. So, who were your earliest supporters when you said, okay, we're moving to France?
I think all the friends that wanted a free holiday. Probably all of them. I mean, I think everyone's gonna, if you say it, and you say that I'm going to South France, it's a lovely thing to do. Whether or not they got it deep down, they understood perhaps better than I why I was doing it, and they supported me. But yeah, I mean, ultimately from the UK, where I live, is only an hour and a half flight. So they they're already planning. My mum had actually booked her tickets to come and see me before I'd even left. Um, so there was, you live in the south of France, of course we're going to come and see you.
Of course. So you had mentioned all the obstacles, the language, just the international, because it's a move, right? In another country and all that. Any other obstacles? Were you questioning yourself during any of this time?
Yeah, absolutely questioning myself all the time, and definitely my relationship with my husband. But I think I buried my head in the sand. I mean, if I could go back, I would do it very differently. But you don't know, do you, until you get
Yeah.
older and wiser and all experienced. I mean, gosh, if we knew then what we knew now, well, I would do many things differently, if I'm
Sure.
honest.
But at the
Um,
time.
yeah, absolutely. But
Yeah.
I did what I did, and here I am, and I will embrace where I am now. I mean, sometimes I think, oh God, if I hadn't moved here, but I don't know. It's a sliding doors story. I did what I did at the time. Here I am. But yes, there were moments of what the hell have I done? First year was very difficult. That's called the transitional year. It's always difficult. But you look for those pockets of joy. You create good moments, and I did have some, and I continue to have some really good times. Really good times.
I believe you. Just check out our Instagram, everyone. You'll love it. So another question I have is, once you moved to France, did you encounter a person or a situation that first appeared to be a positive influence or a champion, only to discover that they or the situation was not as it first appeared?
It's called my husband. If I'm honest, he changed. He changed, and we got to know each other more. We were now living together 24/7. Whereas in the UK, I had my business. He went out to work. We now live together 24/7, building this beautiful space together. But was he my champion? I don't know.
What about the boyfriend? Because he first appeared to be perfect, right?
Yeah, and he was until he wasn't. He was absolutely until the end, and he did champion me. He did support me, but we didn't live together. He lived an hour and a half, 2 hours away from me, so I was fiercely independent. I've actually always been fiercely independent, actually. So, and I've always been the money earner when I was with my husband more than he was, because of what I did rather than what he did. So I've always been quite sort of get on with it myself. And friends, I've had girlfriends that have been my supporter, but I would say that it's in the latter years, it's the girls from the membership, these women that I met since COVID, because a lot of the women that did my Instagram course became the founding members of the membership, and they have been my champions. They've been my supporters. They are, and they continue to be daily. It's amazing, and the support we have for each other. We keep evolving, don't we? I've evolved since coming to France. I've evolved since COVID. I've evolved since my husband left me. I've evolved since my boyfriend broke up with me, and I continue to evolve. And I have all these women champion me to do that
Great.
all the time.
All right. So he came back there, right? The boyfriend.
Yeah, he came back. I mean,
Tell us about that.
yeah. we got back together 14 months after we initially broke up. And again, it was a love affair. I thought, wow, okay, he knew how much he'd hurt me, but he realized how much he loved me and he missed me. We were going to grow old together. And guess what? He did it all over again. This is when I realized, because you know how, and we women are very good at doing this. What have I done? It's all my fault. I'm not good enough. I knew that I was good enough. Absolutely. And it without sounding, it can't possibly be me because I'm too gorgeous, but it couldn't possibly be me because I'm too gorgeous, right? I don't mean sort of physically, I mean just then generally. He obviously has got some kind of psychological problem, a commitment problem. It's his problem, not mine, his loss. I did bounce back this time much better, but you know why? Because I had my network of women, and it continues to evolve and evolve, and I've become a champion of women. You know, kind of like one of your other guests will be talking about body positivity. I do a lot of that as well. You know, not caring what other people think about us. That's the privilege of getting older. You care less what others think. You will find me in underwear and bikinis on my Instagram, people, because you know what? I don't have a perfect body. I have a body, and I'm very grateful for that. So that's how I'm evolving in that respect as well. So you'll see me in my underwear.
I love it. And it's sad that he had to leave that second time for you to realize just how awesome you are. That's a significant transformation in anyone's life, to realize that you're enough, right?
Well, yes. I mean, I think I've begun to realize that before he came back. And maybe the reason he couldn't handle me was because I was too much enough for him. Yeah, and at the end of the day, I am a woman. You know, I come from Southeast England, but I lived in London for 20 years. You took the girl out of the city, you brought her here. But there's still that entrepreneurial spirit, that kind of passion. I mean, once upon a time, I was called a Rottweiler with lipstick because I was quite a sort of assertive businesswoman. Maybe I was too much for him. Maybe. But whatever, I grew and grew. You know, what doesn't break you does make you stronger. It really does. But I believe you have to have your network of people. And when he did it the second time, I just finished a retreat, and two of the girls from the retreat had stayed on for extra nights because one wanted to buy a house actually, and the other girl had come to help me. And I had a whole bunch of friends arriving, plus one of my other members had booked one of the jeeps with her daughter. I was surrounded by these amazing people. I didn't have a chance to go down. I just kept going. I kept going, and I haven't stopped since.
No, you haven't. You answered one of my questions, and that was, how did you discover your own strengths during this time? And you put your big girl panties on, you created your tribe, your community. And
Exactly that. And what
yeah,
I say, and I know you know it too, is you click your heels because you have it in you all the time. And
yeah,
I said it before, and every time I say it, I get shivers down my own spine when I say it. But we've got it in us. It's all about mindset, right? The person stopping you from doing it is you, right?
yes,
So, and we need. I'm not all about. I'm not into meditation and all those positive affirmations or all that kind of manifestation. Maybe I should be, but again, having your tribe, your supporting champion, cheering champions around you, and you do the same for them. They'll do for you. You know, we support each other. That is what lifts you up. That group,
yes.
supportive
Yeah.
cheerleaders.
So, what advice would you give to any woman who is about to embark on a life change like
I
you?
would obviously join my membership and
Well,
come
of
on one,
course.
because that will set you up, no doubt. But it is just know that you can do this. And I mean, one of my other reasons was because I have a daughter. She's an only child. I am responsible for putting another life on this planet. So I've got to show up and be a good role model for her. So there's a motivation for a start, right? We've got to show that next generation, because they think we're all a bunch of old fuddy-duddies, that we're not, that we're gorgeous and glorious and sexy and wonderful and strong. But it would be just to believe that. But again, I'm going to never stop saying this. Surround yourself with good people. Years and years and years and years ago, when I did work in the corporate world, I had I'm going to swear now,
Go ahead.
a wanky boss, right? But the one good thing he did tell me was when I was trying to kind of go up, earn more money and be really good at what I was doing. So build a team, surround yourself with good people. And I did it then, and I'm doing it again. So this time it happens to be a whole bunch of midlife women.
Love it.
Because we get each other. We just simply do.
So, Honor, how can my listeners find you?
Well, I am like a complete whore on social media. I am everywhere. I am on LinkedIn. I have my own websites for both the Jeets and for my MEtreats and membership. It's honestlywithhonor.com, that one. But if you find me on Instagram, instagram.com/honestlywithhonor, so I'm honestly with honor, you can find all of those in my link tree, which is in my bio. And you can DM me and I can send you any links you want. And then you can WhatsApp me, you can email me, you can Facebook me. I'm very easily found.
Okay. And I will put all this into the show notes as well. So, Honor, for any of my listeners who want to try out your membership.
Yes, I'm offering them a special 1-month trial. So come along. I was going to, and I haven't done it yet, put up the code Amy. But if you just DM me and say Amy, then I know where you've come from. And you can have a 1-month free trial, no obligation. And even when you do join, and notice I say when you do join, you can cancel anytime. You just say honor. Don't want to hurt your feelings, but I haven't got enough time for this, or it's helped me for where I'm at now. You can cancel anytime. You're not tied in. And honestly, the cost of it is, I don't know how much coffee costs in America, but it's less than a cup of coffee a day. So and what you get back is amazing. But obviously, I do say to people, you'll get the more you put in, the more you'll get out as well. So I'd love people to come and join my membership, but also come on one of my MEtreats. Come and meet me. Come and meet some new friends. As Mel Robbins says, you haven't met your new best friend yet. You're going to meet all these amazing people that you don't know yet that are going to enrich your life. That's what you need to do, ladies.
Love it. Honor, it was such a pleasure chatting with you. Can't tell you how much.
I love talking to you. Thank you, Amy. You asked such good questions as well, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Oh, hey, it's my honor. No pun intended there. Thank you so much for taking the time and for sharing your wisdom and your heart with us. So, everyone, I'm wishing you all peace and plenty of supportive friends. Until next time, this is Amy, your gray and wonderfully supported girlfriend. Hey, it's Amy. Did you know that what we tell ourselves about ourselves impacts every decision we make? Every decision. So if you're feeling stuck in any aspect of your life, RTT can help. Want to know more? Go to amyblairlawson.com or click on the calendar link in the show notes to schedule your complimentary 30-minute consultation. Oh, one last thing. I can't forget the legal stuff. You know what I'm talking about. The language a lawyers write that I have to read to you. Well, here it goes. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. While I am a rapid transformational therapy practitioner, a certified divorce financial analyst, and a licensed investment advisor, this podcast is not intended as a substitute for a private session or a consultation. Got it? All right. Until next time, wishing you peace and plenty of all good things.